In WordPress, blog posts are just called posts. There's a menu here on the side where you can see your existing posts and you can add a new post. Click here to add a new post. We will first add the title. Now we're going to choose Beaver Builder as our post editor. Once Beaver Builder is open, you can see there are a whole bunch of modules here to choose from. I'm going to show you 3 of them that will be useful for creating your blog posts: headings, text editors, and images. You can start with any module you want. I'm going to start with a heading, so I click it and drag it into the page. You can put it anywhere inside this dotted area. You'll see the blue bar that shows you where the heading is going to be placed. Later, when you have other modules in here, like some text or images or other headings, that will be useful for you to know where the module you're adding is going to appear on the page. So I drop this in here. I need to switch to this general, and now I can type in here the heading that I want to show up. Click Save, and you can already see the heading on the page. Now I'm going to click this plus and choose a text editor, and I'm going to click this and drag it into the page. You can see I can put it above or below the heading. I'm putting it below in this case. Now I can either start typing in this text editor just like I would in a word processor, or what I recommend is writing the blog post in your word processor rather than in WordPress, and then copying and pasting it into this text editor in WordPress. I think it's a little safer. There's less risk of losing your work, like if you lose an internet connection or you do something wrong in WordPress, since you're not as familiar with WordPress as you are with something like a word processor. Now I can add the text. I wrote this earlier. This is just a sample blog post, so I'm just copying this from my word processor and pasting it into the text field here, and click Save. And just like when we added the heading, you can already see what the blog post is going to look like. We can see the heading and the text that we've already added. Now we can edit either of these modules, the text editor or the heading. I'm going to edit the heading here just by clicking it. Where I typed the heading earlier, I'm just going to add to this, changed, click Save. You can see that updated there. And I'm going to change something here in the text editor, click Save there. Okay, you can see that updated right away. Up here in the right-hand corner, this is how you save the blog post itself. Even though you've clicked Save after creating your heading and after creating your text editor, the blog post itself has not been saved. If you leave this page right now, you will lose everything that you did. So here is the button to click when you are done editing your blog post. If you are ready to make your blog post public to the world, click Publish. You could save a draft. If you're not done with it or if you're not happy with it, you can save a draft, come back later. The only difference between publishing and saving a draft is publishing makes it live on your website so that people could see it if they were on your website. If you save the draft, it's not public, but in both cases, whether you publish or save a draft, you can come back and edit anything. You can edit the headings or the text, you can change things around, whatever you want. This is just choosing whether you're publishing it publicly or saving it as a draft. Your third option here is you can discard, which means you would lose everything that you just worked on. You can see here it also says cancel. If you click cancel, nothing happens. you'll just remain in the editor like you were before you clicked done. So you can continue to edit the heading, edit the text field, add headings, add text. But then eventually you're going to have to come back to the done button to click done and publish or save the draft to save the work you did. Now up here, I'm going all the way up to the address bar here. This is the URL of the blog post that we just created. So you could share that with someone and it would give them a link directly to this blog post. Now I'm going back to the dashboard. I'm going back to posts, and you can see this blog post now listed as one of the blog posts. You could from here click Beaver Builder to edit it. You could view it just like this. And now I'm viewing the blog post just like someone visiting your website would see it. From the blog post, I can click the Beaver Builder menu item up here to get back to the Beaver Builder editor if I want to make changes. So here I can make changes to anything we've already made. Say I want to change this heading. Save that. I can edit this text field. But if I don't actually want to make any changes, I can just click cancel to exit the text editor. Since we're in here, I want to show you a few more things. How to add an image or a photo. So I will go up to the plus sign, choose the photo module, click it and drag it into my post. I'll put it here at the bottom. I'm going to choose a photo from the media library, one that I've already uploaded. Select photo. I'll make this a little smaller and save. And you can see where that photo is going to show up in the blog post. I'm going to publish that, see what it looks like. I just want to show you one more thing. Like if I wanted to change around the position of some of the modules that I've added, I'm going back to the Beaver Builder editor, and you see in the left corner of the module there's this four-way arrow. If you click on this, you can move any of these modules around. One more thing I want to show you. Let's say you're in the Beaver Builder editor, you're editing a post, and you start moving things around. So let's say you're moving these all around, trying some things out, and you end up not liking it, or you mess something up and don't know how to get it back to how it was. You remember earlier when we click the Done button, we have several options. One of them is to discard the changes you made. Now, if I click discard here, it's going to discard all these layout changes that I just made. However, this will also discard any changes you had made since your last save. That could include adding additional text, adding headings, adding images. If you hadn't saved or published after adding those items, those will also be discarded when you click discard. Just keep that in mind. If you're going to discard something, when was the last time you saved? Is it going to discard things that you want to keep, or just the last set of things that you did since your last save? This is why I recommend writing the blog post in your word processor, and then when you are ready to add the blog post to your website, you're just copying and pasting into these modules. And if you mess up something in the blog post on your site, you haven't lost all the work that you did because it's in your word processor, and you can just start over copying and pasting the text into the blog post. Now, there's a lot more that Beaver Builder can do. There's a lot more options for modules, and I think most of it is just going to be unnecessary for what you're trying to achieve. But if you do find yourself wanting to do something and you just can't figure out how to do it, it's possible it would require using one of these other modules to format what you want. So just let me know if you're trying to do something and you can't figure out how.